Marcos Quiñones, and this is Self-Psychology. Today we're going to talk about HIV and AIDS. Actually, the resistance to HIV and AIDS. Because if you think about it fundamentally, the problem isn't with the HIV or AIDS. It's how we handle it, right? It's how we manage our lives when we get diagnosed. Just like with any other illness, cancer, diabetes, different illnesses, it's not the illness itself, because that is reality. Reality is that we have the illness. Reality is that we're humans and we're all going to get sick and we're all going to pass. So the problem when we talk about HIV and AIDS, or any other illness for that matter, is the resistance to it. And when we resist the reality of situations, then that's when we get ourselves into trouble. And we, mentally that is, you know, and then that of course bleeds into our behavior and how we act. Now let's back up a little, because I don't want to be insensitive. When someone is diagnosed with HIV, right, most people will have a reaction, right? An emotional reaction. Now the reaction is normal, right? Our emotions are good. Our emotions alert us to that there's something we need to address, right? There's some situation going on. Something's not right. That's what the emotion does for us. And of course, if you look at it prehistorically, any adverse illness, anything that's going to be harmful to us, that's going to keep us from living and procreating and continuing the species to grow, is something to alert us, right? So again, think about it in prehistoric times. When you get bit by a snake, a poisonous snake, the person is going to feel emotional, because he needs to react. He needs to do something so as he can continue to live as long as he can. So the initial reaction when we get diagnosed with HIV is a good reaction. It's a normal reaction. It's a healthy reaction. It's an emotion. So that's not the problem, because with all emotions, as with jealousy, with anger, with depression or anxiety, anything that happens in the moment, it usually fades away relatively quickly. The problem we run into is when we keep it going because of our thoughts. Okay? For example, when we get depressed because we lost something, let's just say a loved one dies, that's not, the sadness isn't the issue. That's a reality. We should feel sad because we just lost someone. The problem is the ongoing thoughts of how we're not going to have that person in our lives anymore. We're going to miss them. Our lives are going to be different. And those thoughts continue to keep the depression going, and the anxiety as well. So the initial reaction when one gets diagnosed with HIV or AIDS is fine. But then our thoughts keeps it going. Now think about it this way. When we think about being diagnosed with HIV and AIDS and living with HIV and AIDS, we either going to accept it or we're going to resist it. Those are our two options, right? We're either going to accept reality. Reality is that we got infected and we're now going to live chronically with HIV, or we're going to resist it. And by resisting it, I mean denying it for one, so then the person doesn't seek treatment and just kind of denies it and doesn't think about it. Or what's more commonly is that they resist the reality of the situation. So they'll start to tell themselves that they are sick, that they're going to die soon, that they have poison in their veins, that they are rotten from within, that no one's going to love them, that there's something wrong with them, that again, that they're going to die soon, right? So all of these thoughts, all of these complaints, okay, are resisting reality, right? So think about it in two ways. You can either, again, resist it, as I mentioned, and complain, which really means resisting the reality of the situation. That you have a virus in your system, right, that just happens to be HIV, but could be any other virus that, or any other cancer that plagues our form, our human form. Or you can accept it, right? And accepting it means accepting the fact that you are infected with HIV, and then managing the situation, right? So if you know of people that have been infected, you would know that there are a wide range of reactions to being infected, right? I have friends that react different ways. They all react differently to being infected. Now, some of them react what I would call accepting and in a healthy way, and some of them don't, right? Now the question here is, how do you want to react if you're diagnosed with HIV, cancer, or any other illness, right? Do you want to accept reality, or do you want to resist it? And which one is going to work best for you? So let me give you two examples of two individuals, one accepting their illness and one denying it or resisting it. So the first one, let's say the one that resisted it, right, may deny it. So he may not go for treatment. Or he may tell himself that no one's going to love him, that he's not going to be able to have a partner anymore, or that he has poison going up and down his veins, and that he's going to die soon. Okay? Those are some of the common thoughts that people with HIV that resist have. Now, there's another person on the other side that accepts it, right? So he doesn't deny it, so he accepts that he has HIV, and then that person goes to a doctor and gets medication to treat it, and starts living a healthy lifestyle, minimal drinking, minimal or absence of drugs, and exercise, and continue to have a social support, and continue to date, and continue to meet other people, and do fun and exciting things, and continue to live his or her life, right? Now the person who resists, again, is resisting reality because the person says no one's going to love me anymore, which is not accurate, right? Because that's too absolute. Maybe a couple of people might reject you, but it's not everyone's going to reject you. The person is saying there's poison going up and down my veins, or I'm rotten. If any of these things were true, the person wouldn't be living, okay? There is a virus in the person's system, just like we all have viruses and bacteria in our system, only the HIV virus tends to attack the immune system. But it isn't much different than having any other of the other viruses in our system. Then the person tells himself that he's going to die soon, okay? Again, another irrationality because, and another resistance, another irrationality to reality, right? It's not reality. Why? Because he don't know when he's going to die. Okay? Neither do I, neither do you, neither do any one of us. Okay? We're human. We're human forms, and being organisms, we're going to die. That's a fact. We can die by a car accident in a day, in a week, in a year. We can die by cancer or any other illness or HIV or some other accident, or we may grow old and die of old age, you know. We're all going to go, and none of us know when or how. The best we can do is accept what's going on right now, accept our health the way it is today, and kind of promote health by trying to feel good about this reality that we have. You know, one of the great quotes that I've heard is, live a life worth suffering for, right? Think about that statement. Live a life worth suffering for. Yes, we're here, okay? We're here to suffer, we're here to have pain. We're going to have relationship pain, we're going to have health pain, we're going to have rejections, we're going to have some sort of physical and mental pain. It's just part of the human existence, part of the human form. Now, what we do with that is up to us. Some people, and I'm sure you know of them, have been diagnosed with HIV and have continued to live functional, normal lives, continuing their activities, going to work, eating healthy, doing healthy activities, exercising, taking their medication, and living on a somewhat normal life. Same as with people with cancer and with other illnesses, diabetes and such. But there are also part of us that resist, and part of the resistance is not accepting the reality of situations, not talking to ourselves rationally, real, with common sense, and saying that no one's going to love us, we're not going to ever find a partner, we're not going to, we're going to die tomorrow, we're rotten, and there's no hope for us. So if we tell ourselves that, we're going to depress ourselves, and we're going to keep ourselves in a state that's not going to be functional. So we're not going to be able to work, we're not going to be able to exercise, and our immune system is going to compromise. And yes, there's a good possibility that we'll die sooner by resisting. So those are the two options when we talk about HIV and AIDS. And again, I'm talking about being diagnosed with HIV or AIDS. We can either accept it or reject it, and the beauty of the human existence is that we can choose. We can choose which way we go. It's your choice. You decide. Live healthy, live happy, and I'll see you here next time.